Okay, Ken Ham says scientists have not proven that the Earth is billions of years old because they determine the Earth's age with fallible methods based on unproven assumptions, as opposed to your completely bulletproof method of assuming that the Bible is true and that Bishop Ussher's calculations were reasonably accurate.
Well, you know, Bill, I have this book.
Yeah. A book that says that bats are birds and that pi is equal to 3. And yes, I know the pi is equal to 3 one is not necessarily the most robust criticism of the book.
The bats are birds one is also not a super...
One, yeah, it's more of a linguistic quirk. But I feel like if there really was an all-powerful, all-knowing God behind it, he could have made it clearer.
I feel like it's easier to just say, hey, Christians, where in your Bible does it say the Earth is 6,400 years old? And when you find that it doesn't say that anywhere, and the only justification you have is adding up the ages of a bunch of these characters whom you can't actually get the ages of in any meaningful way, I'm sorry, but that is not an accurate way to determine anything.
Dark Falcon, how do you even get to pi equals 3? So there's a passage that describes a giant basin, and it gives the measurements for the basin, and it's a circular basin. And when you do the pi calculation on the measurements that it gives, it comes out to exactly 3. However, there are things like, well, it didn't say to measure it from this spot on the circumference, and like the stone that it was made out of would have been so wide, so like depending on where you measure it, like, whatever.
Dorito says there was this one creator who compared the 4 Gospels, comparing the angels who opened the tomb if Jesus was there. It was some weird Canadian creator, but I don't remember his name.
I mean, I did read through the Gospels.
I feel like that can describe you or Paulogia just fine.
I'm not particularly happy with how my videos turned out where I was reading through the Gospels and going through the contradictions in the stories. Because I didn't script those. I was just kind of rambling off the top of my head. There were a lot more ums and ahs.
Dorito says it was your Christmas special.
My Christmas, like this year?
He also says, fuck you, Rhino, I liked them.
Okay. I know, lots of people did. That's why they're still up. I'm allowed to not like my own shit.
No, it was from like 6 years ago. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Dorito, your memory is long.
And I got I know the videos he's talking about. I got a lot of positive feedback on those videos. And that's exactly where like the disconnect between being a creator and their audience comes in, because like those are some of the videos that I'm the least proud of that I've ever made, but I've gotten a lot more positive comments about them than I have from a lot of other videos, like some of the ones that I actually am proud of. So it's weird. It's one of those weird things where like the videos you put the least amount of effort into and you're the least proud of are the ones that do the best. Whereas the one now where I'm like ordering research material off of Amazon that I'm putting a shit ton of work into is probably just going to it's just going to fail.
Always the case. I need to use the restroom real quick though, unless Ken Ham's the last one we got.
No, I'm pretty sure Wendell's going to be the last one. We got a Pedro.
Ah, fuck it. That's short. Let's see what we can do. Let me
see
if I can hold it.
No income tax in history has ever stopped at just high earners, but that's not an excuse not to tax the high earners.
Yeah, that's not an excuse not to tax them. Also, like the point of the income tax. Also, I've also come around on the property tax thing, because I know that like my position before was very like, I don't think that this thing that says that somebody that doesn't have any money should suddenly be kicked out of their house. I believe that in that case we should have a special provision for people who do not have funds, but at the same time, I think that things would be way worse if we did not tax landlords for the property that they own. So I've come around on that particular issue. When it comes to the income tax thing,
it doesn't stop at the high earners. It just goes to a smaller percentage as you go down the income scale.
And like, for everybody that gets like mad at their tax money being taken out, you know that if you had to personally pay for the concrete to make the road better, you'd be spending more money overall. If you had to personally pay for the money to pay for school for your kids, you'd be spending more money overall. If you had to personally pay...
Sure. We can actually do this for realsies.
Yeah?
How much do you spend on healthcare premiums in a year?
How much do I spend on
healthcare related costs at all? How much do you spend on healthcare in a year?
I don't want to think about it. That's...
Can you give a ballpark? Give a ballpark.
With or without government subsidies?
Money out of your own pocket.
So, right, with or without government subsidies?
I don't know what a government subsidy would look like.
A government subsidy is what makes the ACA function. I can tell you what I can tell you what the healthcare cost looks like when you don't have the ACA behind you. And so without tax, you wouldn't have the ACA. It looks like $500 a month for somebody in their 20s.
Okay, what's it look like with the ACA?
With the ACA, it depends on your income, but for me, it's about $100 a month.
$100 a month, so that's $1,200 a year.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take a stab at what I pay for healthcare for my family of 7?
How much?
$700 a year.
Fuck you, die in a fire.
Yeah.
I hate Canada, and I'm so happy that we tried to kill them in the Fallout universe.
So, there we go. So yeah, when you pay for things through taxes, it turns out they end up being cheaper.
Gideon says temptation to flee to Canada growing.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's getting worse because we've got the premier in Ontario who wants to turn our healthcare system into the state's healthcare system for who knows what reason. He's being paid by drug companies or something, I'm sure.
Ask yourself, where is the money?
Yeah. Yeah, Fennec, you don't need to tell me that I don't want that system. I am perfectly happy with that is why I was so confident going into that comparison with Cirrus, that like even when you consider government assistance or whatever, he's still paying shit ton more than me.
And by the way, that's the amount for an individual.
That's also just the premiums, right? Like it's more if you actually have to go to a hospital or something, right?
Yeah, I didn't count our copay.
Yeah.
Like, Jesus Christ.
So, yeah. Healthcare is good.
Hey, you made it to the end. I want to give an extra thanks to the patrons who allow me to do this full time. I want to thank Aaron Rail, Astral, Britzkrieg, Jemshin, Poundini, Red Joker, Victoria, Jonas, Craig, Tarika, Fireshard, Smiling GM, John, Dren Hadamada, Creeper, Sagitta, you know I'm not saying that last part, Sylvie Snow, Valis of Seraph, Ottoman Angel, Rooster Rachel, and Fire Panda, who are all my $20 and up patrons.